Hi everybody, Amy from Otherworldly Waxes, and today I'm doing a little tutorial on how to make your own magical blended oil. Now normally I make oils in bulk by 1 pound or 8 ounces to keep at the shop and sell. But today I'm going to hopefully shrink down the size of the oil. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a 1/2 ounce size. So I have a 1/2 ounce size bottle. And we're going to go over all the tools that we will need to make our own personal hand-blended magical oil. What I normally recommend for anyone who is beginning is to have certain tools to your disposal. So wax paper is a really good one because our essential oils that we will be using for our blended oil have a tendency to erode certain surfaces like countertops, plastics, wood, sometimes varnishes on tabletops. When I first started learning, I kind of ruined my own kitchen table from mixing on it. So what I usually do is if I'm working on a surface that I don't want to have damaged by oils, I'll put down a sheet of wax paper, like so. And wax paper is actually one of the really perfect things to line your shelves with if you are storing different essential oils and even your blended oils. Other tools that we can use when we are just making our own personal oils are, which I use a lot, are droppers. Droppers you can find at any local drugstore. You can order them online, obviously. Different places sell them. So we need our glass droppers. Do not use plastic because, like I said, essential oils will erode the plastic and contaminate the oils and cause all sorts of havoc. Our glass bottle, which we're starting today, our bio, cap and glass. We're making the 1/2 ounce size. We also need rubbing alcohol, which is great. It cuts through all the different oils, especially like if you spill oil down the side of your glass, you can just take a little piece of paper towel, dab a little rubbing alcohol on it, and just rub it down. It will come clean, so you don't have to worry about wiping it down and things being slippery, etc., etc. Other tools that we will need: paper towels, can't live without. I always recommend using some sort of vinyl or rubber gloves. You can mix your oils bare hand, but tendency, like some of the oils will get into your skin, under your nails, and then you'll be like tasting them or smelling them for a period of time. Patchouli is infamous for that. Our carrier oil, which we'll be using to cut down our essential oils and to actually complete our magical blended oil. I personally, and what we use at the shop, we use almond oil. It's a little volatile with the heat, and no, I shouldn't use the word volatile, but it has a tendency to turn if it's too hot or too cold, or if there's severe temperature fluctuations. But I personally like almond oil. I like to use it because of the energetic properties to it. It's a lot smoother. It's a lot lighter and softer for the works that I personally do. But you can use anything like a vegetable oil, a grapeseed oil, avocado oil, whatever appeals to you on an energetic level, which I'll get a little more into in a second. Obviously, your formula for the oil that you're going to make. Today I'm going to use Scott Cunningham's Incense Oils and Brews book, which I highly recommend for anybody who's starting out in the craft and anyone who's been in the craft for a really long time. I love this book. I mean, it's clearly very old. I've had it for a number of years, and I always like to go back through it and flip through it. Scott Cunningham was one of many pioneers to bring the craft out. And also, I recommend any sort of encyclopedia of magical herbs, herbs/oils, just to find out the different energetic properties of each scent. So, like for example, you have a formula that you are using that, say you don't like the scent of a certain oil, or it's just not vibrating at the level that you want it to, or matching your vibe, or whatever it is you want to call it, you can refer to any sort of encyclopedia of magical herbs and find something that may be more appealing to you as a person. So, there's so many great incense oils and brews books out there by so many talented and gifted authors that, I highly recommend any of them, any author that you're attracted to. I'm just using the Scott Cunningham because I think a lot of us who have been practicing the craft or starting on the craft know that Scott Cunningham it has a really wonderful array of resources out there. So today I'm using a recipe from a formula, I should say, from his book, the purification oil. Now, usually a lot of formularies that you will purchase from different practitioners will use different terminology, like parts, or like Scott Cunningham here. I'll just backtrack a little bit. Scott Cunningham uses drops, so it's easy for us to make things with our dropper. Now, that might be for the dram size, a half-ounce size, or full-ounce size. So what a lot of authors will do will use the word or the term parts, which is similar to drops. Now, at the shop here, since I make such larger sizes, this is called a pound, which is actually 16 ounces of oil. So I will make a half pound to a pound at a time. So I'll end up using tablespoons or teaspoons opposed to just like 1, 2, 3 drops, because I need to create a larger amount and I need it to smell the way it's supposed to, instead of just smelling like almond oil with like a very tiny hint of eucalyptus. So, but I'm gonna break it down, so we'll do the smaller size, and I'll show at the end of this video the tools you need to make a larger size. So if you are going to start making your own oils in bulk because you are having your own business, or you just happen to need a lot of oil for a particular purpose, you'll be able to do that as well. So what we're going to start, Scott Cunningham's formulary suggests that for his personal purification oil, everybody has a different recipe for their oils. And that's fine. Like I said, it's a vibratory thing. It's like whatever you seem to jive with can work. So he suggests 4 drops of eucalyptus oil, 2 drops of camphor, and 1 drop of lemon oil. So what I do, almost lost it, I start with my bottle. I make sure it's clean. The only time I mix in a dirty bottle is if it's the same exact oil. So say I ran out of my purification oil, I will then again top it off with the ingredients for another purification oil using the same formula. I recommend this only because, like, if you're going to do like a love oil, then you're going to do, and it empties, and you're going to use the same bottle to make like an uncrossing oil. It's going to muck up the energies. I mean, you can clear the bottle by putting a little rubbing alcohol, shaking it until it comes out clean, and you can no longer smell the scent of the previous oil that's in the bottle. And then I like to sage it a little bit. But when I teach my Magickal Oils class, we'll get a little more into the intricacies of it all. So what I like to do is I start with my formula. Now he is calling for 4 drops of eucalyptus. So I put my dropper in, and each oil should get their own individual clean dropper, which is very important because you don't want to mix oils. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. And I'll set the oils aside with their individual dropper next to it, because sometimes when you mix oils and you start with the initial recipe and you mix it up a little and you realize the scent isn't strong enough, you may want to go back in and add more oil. So instead of having to go up and clean and be like what dropper went where, I try to be responsible and set them next to the dropper. Now he was recommending 2 drops of camphor oil, which is a great clearing oil. I always recommend it. So we'll go 2 drops. And again, the dropper next to the oil that we are using. And then 1 drop, okay, I thought I was out for a second, of lemon. So yummy. Now we have our initial formulary together. Our initial formula, I should say, together. All of our essential oil scents are in here. Now it doesn't look like much at all is in here. The next thing I like to do, which requires a steady hand, and I think I drank a little bit too much coffee so I got the jitters. I pour a little bit of our base oil, which is my almond oil, about 1/3 full of the bottle that I'm using. Then I close it tight and I shake it up. Now this blends the essential oils with your carrier base oil. I open it and I smell it. Now this smells weak to me because it's a 1/2 ounce and we only used a couple drops. So like I said, we keep the droppers next to the oil we use. Excuse me, I'm a little over a cold. So I go back in, eucalyptus, and I start with the same exact recipe. So I'll put my 4 drops in. My 2 drops of camphor. And my 1 drop of lemon. Now I don't add more of the carrier in because I want to get the essential base scent down. So I shake it up again. And I take another sniff. Now for me, and if you bought any of my oils, you know they're very pungent because I really like the scent. And as you make your own oils, you notice like you don't really need a lot of essential oils to make a strong scent. I mean, this one great thing about a lot of the carrier oils or carrier base oils is that they don't have a huge fragrance to them. So it allows the scent to come through. Okay, it's still a little weak to me, so I'll go back in. It can be a little tedious. It takes patience, but the results are well worth it. So 4 drops of the eucalyptus. And this is a great, I was actually discussing with a dear friend of mine about the benefits of eucalyptus and camphor the other day. I always try to remember to close the lids of my bottle in between because mixing the lids of the bottles too can be a little messy. Because you want to try to keep your essential oils, I mean, because a lot of them are really expensive, so you really want to keep the scent intact. I think this one's going to do it. Third time's a charm, as they say. So I shake it again. Now that's nice. Now I had to add the formula 3 times, which is fine because this is a larger bottle. If I was doing a dram, which is the smallest bottle that we have, well, they have smaller bottles, but the smallest bottle we have at the shop, the first time around probably would have done it, but the 3rd time around for a 1/2 ounce seems to have done it. So I tested it. I'm happy with it because it's nice and strong. And now I'm going to fill the rest of the bottle up with the almond oil. And I just shake it. Now, one thing I definitely suggest, which a lot of you already probably know, Just always shake your oils or tinctures or anything before you use them. Because, you know, these have no additives in them. They're straight essentials mixed with a base carrier. And things separate and they settle. So always shake your oils. So I am really super happy. Smells amazing. This is really, really nice. So I have my purification oil from Scott Cunningham's recipe formulary. Now what I do afterwards, because you know, tons of oils, I have tons of oils at home too, is I want to make sure I mark my bottle of what it is. I use small little stickers, just regular Avery white stickers. And I write with a pencil to what it is. So I take it off, put the sticker on. Now this is the important part. I cover the sticker with tape, Scotch tape, regular tape, doesn't really matter. And I write the labels in pencil. A lot of the main issues that we have, we write it in pen, and over time after using the oils, the pen will wear down. Because the oils will still like seep through it and get onto your label. And all of a sudden you have all these oils that you don't know what they are. I recommend pencil. It has less of a tendency to erode and fade over time. So there we have it, our oil that we make, purification oil. At the end of this video, I will show you the tools that I do use when I make the larger amounts of oils. Like I said, tablespoons, all that good stuff in big bottles. And one thing I do recommend for any of your tools, when you're working with oils, they should be glass or metal. Well, not all metal. Bottles really shouldn't be metal. But glass droppers or metal teaspoon tablespoons. Plastic will erode over time, and also wood will erode under the pure essential oils because they are very stripping. And that's it. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully more videos soon. Less of a cough, but you know, on the up and up. Thank you. Take care. Blessed be.